Hello, everyone. I may or may not be having some audio issues. So if you are here now, we're going to wait a couple minutes for a couple more people to join us. But if you're here and you don't mind typing in the chat, whether or not you're having, if you can hear me loud and clear, let me know. If not, that's not a problem. We may just have David do all the talking for the presentation today. So if you're here and you can hear me, give me a little type in the chat. And if you're having trouble hearing me, let me know and David will take it away. All right, Renee, you can hear me. Wonderful. If anyone is having trouble hearing me, now's the time to let me know. I'm going to do the first part, so I want to make sure everyone can hear what I'm saying so you don't miss any key information. Great. All right. So we'll get going and hopefully maybe a few other people will join us as we go. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday afternoon for our Baker Artist Portfolio info session. We're really excited to have you join us. And we are, oh, there we go. I'm Alix Van-Hagen. I'm the program manager of the Baker Artist Portfolios. And David, do you want to introduce yourself? I think I am seeing something odd here. Give me a second. There we go.
Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. My name is David London. I'm the Director of Innovation here at the Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance. While Alix starts with the first part, I'm going to be working behind the scenes to get a few things up and running. So you are in good hands for the next few minutes, and I'll see you in just a moment.
So let me, how do I get this to go? We're going to go through an overview of what we're going to look at today. And I'm just having trouble getting this up on the screen. David, if you don't mind. Hoping me. Ah, beautiful. There we go. Thank you. So the Baker Artist Portfolio is going to be found at www.bakerartistportfolio.org. I'm going to go over a little bit what we're going to do in this session today and what you can expect for us to touch on. We are doing this session today streaming live on StreamYard. As such, it means if you have any questions at any point, please feel free to type them into the chat and one of us will get to it as we go. There'll also be a section for questions at the end, but certainly at any point. We are having trouble streaming on Instagram right now. So hopefully everyone is here right now. I will introduce slowly so people can get over to our live stream right now. But so please feel free to ask questions at any time and we will get to them as we go. We're going to go over an introduction to Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance, who we are, what we do, an overview of the Baker Artist Portfolios, as well as the Baker Artist Awards. And we'll talk about the eligibility, the disciplines, adjudication process, and then we'll go over the front end of the website. I hope you have had a chance to go in and look at the Baker Artist Portfolios. It's a really great site with some amazing work. And if you haven't, we'll go over it today and then you can play around in there afterwards. And then we'll spend the majority of our time today in the back end of the website, showing you how to create your portfolio, creating projects, uploading work, some special features, and getting you familiar with that so that you can get started with your own portfolio or figure out how to update it and get it working to present you the way that you want to present you and your work. And then we'll also have a time for questions at the end, in addition to as we go. Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance, the mission is to create equity and opportunity in, through, and for the arts in Greater Baltimore. And they do this through marketing, education, professional development, financial support, and innovative programs. Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance was founded in 2001 through a conglomeration of arts organizations and independent artists who felt that they're stronger together than apart. And so Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance functions as an independent organization that works towards the voice of artists and increasing the visibility and opportunity for artists and arts organizations in Baltimore. The artists and organizations that the organization serves range from universities to mainstream institutions to small grassroots organizations and also individual artists. We are a membership organization, and there's memberships at various levels from individuals, again, to mainstream large institutions. And with those memberships come additional perks and benefits and services that we offer. However, there are wonderful programs like the Baker Artist Portfolios that are available to all people, no matter membership status. And Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance is an arts service organization that provides support and resources to Baltimore City and the 5 surrounding counties. We have been around since 2001, so we're coming up on our 23rd anniversary. The Baker Artist Portfolios were created in 2008 as a collaboration between Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance and the William G. Baker Jr. Memorial Fund, which operates under Baltimore Community Foundation. It was conceived initially and, as always, to provide a free online portfolio for artists, financial support to artists, to showcase and give exhibition opportunities to artists, and to promote Baltimore internationally as a strong creative community. All those things in many parts remain totally true. So in their bylaws, the fund can provide funding only to organizations. So through this collaboration, Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance is able to provide funds from William G. Baker Jr. Memorial Fund to provide support directly to the individual artists, which is a really exciting thing. In 2016, we launched a new website. And at that point, we rebranded the program, which was originally branded as the Baker Artist Awards, as the Baker Artist Portfolios. It really allowed us to focus on both sides of it. So before, everything was framed as the Baker Artist Awards, and portfolios were a way to nominate yourself to be eligible for the award or considered for this award. And what we wanted to do was really acknowledge the great things on both sides, both the awards and the portfolios. So I'll talk about the portfolios first. The Baker Artist Portfolios this website is viewed by almost every country across the world. It's used by curators and collectors and programmers to identify artists, to find artists for programs, to find artists for shows, to find artists to buy work. And we have anecdotal evidence from artists who have been contacted by collectors in New York, who's come down and see their studios and bought 10 paintings and gone back up to New York, to organizations that have found artists through our website and included these artists in programming that they're doing. In addition, it's a really amazing way to be a part of a larger community of the artists in Baltimore City and the surrounding areas. And just to be on that and a part of this community of amazing talent is really an asset. Many artists use the Baker Artist Portfolios as their main website. It is free, it is very functional, it is very easily accessed by the public. And now, as you'll see later on, you have an opportunity to customize your URL, which makes that even easier to do. Or if you happen to have your own domain, we can easily help you redirect it to the Baker Artist Portfolio. So if that's something you're interested in doing, we can help you with that. You can update your portfolio 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Before, it used to be that when the deadline for the awards happened, the site would shut down during the adjudication period, and that's no longer the case. So we encourage you to update your portfolio as soon and as often as you would like to. You can start updating your portfolio February 1st for the following year. You can update it all year round as soon as you want to, whenever you want to add something new. And the other exciting thing about the portfolios is that it's always evolving. So we're always trying to figure out how to make the technology better serve what we do, how to make the site better serve what you want and how it can work, and are always open to hearing from you to get things working better for you. The Baker Artist Awards are the other side of the program, and the Baker Artist Awards are an award of excellence. They are not a grant. So what that means is they're an award for the work that you've already created. You do not have to report on the award. You do not have to tell us what you've done with the award. You can do whatever you want. So you could repair your roof. You can definitely put it to an artistic project. You could go on a vacation. You can put it in the bank. Whatever an awardee decides to do with the financial award received, totally up to them. Every year, annually, the Baker Artist Awards give $90,000 to artists in Baltimore City and the 5 surrounding counties, and that makes it the biggest art prize in the area. The arrangement of the awards have varied over its existence, ranging from about $1,000 to $50,000. And the arrangement that we've settled on now, which is standard right now, is there is award in each discipline. So there are 6 awards, $10,000 Mary Sawyer's Baker Prize per discipline. And one of those 6 awardees will receive an additional $30,000, which is the Mary Sawyer's Bowden Prize, which amounts to a total of $40,000. And some of the thinking in this arrangement, as opposed to, for example, something that we did during the high point of pandemic, was awarding a number of smaller $2,500 grants. The thought behind this new structure is really that these amounts are a transformative amount of money. So they really can make a difference in an artist's life and an artist's career. And there's a significant recognition of the achievement of the artist. And that's important for us. Some of the additional benefits of these awards are exhibition opportunities. We have a biennial exhibition at the Baltimore Museum of Art for visual artists and interdisciplinary artists. There is a Maryland Public Television artwork special. So every year, all of the artists are featured in this program in Maryland Public Television. And then, of course, the previous year's awardees are followed up with. And not only is it featured there, but also that footage is available for artists to use however they like. We also look to try to give additional showcase opportunities at other major institutions for artists that might not be included in visual and interdisciplinary arts. And we are also looking to do showcase opportunities for finalists as well as the awardees. So, are you eligible? If you are an artist and you are a legal resident of Baltimore City or any of the 5 surrounding counties, so Howard County, Baltimore County, Hartford County, Carroll County, Anne Arundel County, you are eligible as long as you are 21 years old or have been 21 years old 1 year before the start of the season. So if you're 21 as of September 1st, 2022, you are eligible. It is open to individual artists and groups of artists working together as a collaboration or a collective. It is not open to businesses or incorporated organizations. That being said, if you happen to have a business or be a part of a business, you are still eligible to apply or to create your portfolio rather. But you would be doing so as an individual artist, not under the umbrella of your business. Artists working in any discipline are eligible. And as long as you have not already been awarded $20,000 from the Baker Awards, previous awardees are also eligible. So if you were awarded one of the $10,000 prizes, you are still eligible to be awarded again after a year off. Once you have been awarded $20,000 or more, you are no longer eligible to receive an award. Additionally, staff and board members of Greater Baltimore Cultural Alliance, the William T. Baker Jr. Memorial Fund, or Baltimore Community Foundation are not eligible. We certainly can have portfolios, and many of us as artists do, including the head of the foundation, but we will not win the award. So I mentioned that any of the artists in, there are 6 disciplines that we include in the portfolios. Those are visual arts, performance arts, music, literary arts, film, video, and interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary art. Most of those people are pretty straightforward on. The one that has A, become very popular and is definitely growing very quickly, and B, sometimes people have more questions on, is the interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary discipline. So to give you an example, if you are a artist who recites poetry while doing contemporary dance and painting at the same time, and that is part of your performance, and you do all of those things at the same time, you would be an interdisciplinary artist. If, however, you do all of those things and you are a poet and you also paint and then you also do modern dance, but you do those things individually and not together, we would ask that you pick which discipline you want your portfolio to be in. That said, once you select which discipline your portfolio will fall under, you can still include work in the other disciplines in the projects, and David will talk a little bit about that later on. So you're not relegated to only include work that you do in one discipline, but we do ask that you select. The deadline to be considered for an award for 2024 is Friday, January 26th at 5 p.m. So at that time, there's a cloned copy of your portfolio that is taken, and that is what the judges will look at for adjudication. That does not mean that you cannot add to your portfolio afterwards or change your portfolio after that time. It just means that whatever your portfolio looks like at 5 p.m. on Friday, January 26th, that is what will be adjudicated for this year. The process of adjudication, there are 3 main criteria that is considered, and these are the only 3 things that are considered when the jurors look at your portfolio. So I'm going to say them, I'll say them twice through, and then I'll talk a little bit about what they mean. Mastery of craft, depth of artistic exploration, unique vision. Again, mastery of craft, depth of artistic exploration, and unique vision. So, mastery of craft. In the medium that you are working in what you do you have a mastery of those skills? Obviously, all judgment, all of these categories are subjective, but have you demonstrated that you have an ability, that you have mastered the skills in this medium, in the craft, in your work? Depth of artistic exploration. So it used to be depth of portfolio. And then, as I mentioned, this program is ever evolving. And what was realized was it wasn't really the depth of the portfolio that was being considered, but more the depth of the artistic exploration, the depth of what the artist was looking at. And so that can be measured in a lot of different ways, but whatever you're looking at, whatever you're interested in, whatever you have been doing in your work, are you doing it deeply? Are you going further? Some things to consider when thinking of that criteria are longevity. That's not the only way to think of it, but it is one way to demonstrate that is over the course of a period of time. Have you continued to dig a little deeper? Have you continued to explore some of the same themes? That's one possible way to look at it, but there's many others. But whatever you're exploring in your work, are you doing so meaningfully? Are you digging deep? And then unique vision. It's, again, subjective. However, is what you are doing, is what you are trying to create indicative of a perspective, a voice, a vision that is unique and that is original and that is yours. The adjudication process is conducted by a private jury of local, regional, and national experts. So this year, finalists will be announced in March, and awardees will be notified and announced in May. There's a little asterisk that said exact dates subject to change because, as we know, things always happen, and we will try to stick to that schedule. And should that change, we will, of course, let you know as soon as possible. But that is the anticipated schedule, and that's what we can expect. So we are available after this 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If you have any questions after this, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I want to note, because we are coming up on the holidays, that we will not be available December 23rd to January 2nd. So as you anticipate getting your portfolio underway or updating it, see if you can maybe anticipate some questions or concerns you're going to have. I will be honest, we will probably occasionally check email during that time, but just in case, definitely try to get it in as soon as you know. And questions or concerns or thoughts or any of that should go to baker@baltimoreculture.org. That's the email that will reach both myself and David. So you're definitely going to get the quickest response by going there. And coming in January, we'll also have some work sessions that you can sign up for, so we can work one-on-one if that is something that is helpful for you. I'm going to turn it over to David, who's going to take you through the actual site, front end and back end.
Great. Thank you so much, Alix, and thank you all for being here. Sorry for the little craziness at the beginning, but I think we are well underway now and moving past those issues. Do you want to stay on for this, Alix?
I can go off. I guess I just wanted to take a moment before I do this to see if anyone had any questions. I realized I didn't pause for that, and if anyone does, now's a great time.
Great.
The dates go down. So we are, the offices are closed the 22nd through January 2nd.
Yeah, I think it's that Saturday through the Monday, through the Tuesday. So I think it's the 23rd through the 2nd. Yep.
Thank you, 23rd. So it's just that 1 week. And again, you can definitely email us and we will get back to you. We just might not be able to do it in that week. All right, David, take it away.
Great. Thank you so much. So for the rest of our time together, and feel free to take yourself out if you want, Alix, or stay here with me should any other questions emerge. For the rest of our time here together, we're going to be looking at the Baker site itself so that we can go over instructions on how to use it. I'm going to start by giving a view of the front end of the website. So this is what you would experience if you were visiting the website as a user or even as an artist if you haven't logged in yet. I presume, I hope that at least you have looked at the Baker site, so you have a rough understanding of what we're working with here. So I'm going to just quickly talk about some of the features. First, on the homepage here, you have a search bar where you can search by various disciplines. You can search by artist name. You can also search with something we'll talk about called tags, which is sort of categories that artists create to describe their work. I would say, although people certainly use the search bar, if you come looking for an artist, that's a great way to find them. But the most common button I would say is used is this browse button over here, which takes you into the totality of all the portfolios, where we'll go in just a few moments here. Speaking of the totality of portfolios, every year we have between about 650 and 900 artists create or update their portfolio. In the history of the Baker program, we've had about 4,000 artists over 15 years create a portfolio. And like I said, around approximately 800 or so every year decide to keep their portfolio active. A really nice feature of the Baker Artist Portfolios versus other places you may go if you are looking for financial support of your work is that oftentimes when you apply for funding or you're seeking funding, you'll have to go through the same process every year, and your work doesn't build on your previous year. So you're starting fresh and reimagining and rewriting things. A really nice aspect of the Baker program is that you can continue to develop your portfolio for as long as you choose to keep it active. So there are several artists on the site who've had a portfolio since the beginning for 15 years now, and continue to tweak and update their work and sort of see it as a living document. Below that search bar is our artist features, of which if you're looking at the desktop, there are 16 artist features on the site, 15, apologies. Just like the website itself, which is completely democratic in nature. So anyone who meets the basic criteria is encouraged to create a portfolio. And we wanted to sort of reflect that democratic nature on the homepage here. And so what we've done is set up a random rotation of artists to be displayed on the homepage, which means if you have a portfolio and you keep hitting refresh on your browser, at some point you will appear here on the homepage. I stumbled when I said 16 or 15 on this homepage because I sometimes forget that in the upper left-hand corner is the one exception. This is a double wide feature of an artist and a past awardee. Over our 15 years, we've had about 150 past awardees. So those artists are featured here in this double wide section. But even this section is refreshed every time you refresh your computer. Underneath there is a little information about us, and most importantly is our footer menu. You can use here to browse the portfolios by specific disciplines, log in if you're not logged in at the time. Robin, thanks for joining us. I know you just requested by email the login link, so I was happy to share that, but you can also always get to it here at the bottom of the page. Information about the awards. There's this button here that says awardees, and I always suggest to people that if you have a moment, you spend a little bit of time. You could spend hours, but at least a few minutes poking around this awardee page. On this awardee page, we showcase and provide information and links to our past awardees. So here were the awardees in 2013 or 2023, apologies. I just traveled back in time 10 years. You can also browse all of the past year's awardees by clicking on the dates here. And I recommend looking at this because it's just a good way to get a sense of how previous awardees have put together their portfolio and presented themselves. Although I say it's good practice to look at this, I will tell you that as you start exploring different portfolios of past awardees, you will find radically different approaches to how artists present themselves, because there really is no sort of magic answer here or system that applies to everyone that will work for everyone. One of the things we really pride ourselves on is that the Baker Portfolio site, it really provides for a lot of different types of usage and doesn't have so many requirements. And so we did that to allow artists the possibility to really think about how they use the portfolio, how they want to use the portfolio, how much information or how little information, and what type of information they want to include on their portfolio. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get on the inside. Also in our footer here is just general information about us, mission history. We keep updates on our blogs, info sessions and such are listed in this event page. The last thing I want to show you here in the footer is this button that says help. This button will take you into the our frequently asked questions page. And here you can sort of get the most common questions we get asked answered. I will also tell you that after this session, we will email everyone who RSVP'd a link to download our in-depth instruction manual, which includes everything I'm going to be talking about today in extreme detail with lots of pictures. I generally don't like to point it out until after the info session, because when you look at it, you're going to say this is really big and overwhelming. It's only so big because it contains so much information. If you're looking To download that, you can either get there through the help page. There's a little button that says download a detailed instruction manual, or at any time, if you don't get the email from us, you can also go to bakerartist.org/manual, and that will automatically download the PDF for you to view with the clear instructions. We also make it a practice to upload recordings of these info sessions. So if you're tuning in at a midpoint or have to leave early, or you just catch a snippet of it, but you want to be able to return to it, or even if you've joined us for the full 90 minutes today, but you want a refresher, you can go to our YouTube page or our Facebook page. Apparently our Instagram page did not work, but you can go to either of those places, or even the website here, and watch a recording of an info session, so you always have access to this information. I'm going to go back to the home page here, and I'm going to click that orange browse button that I was talking about just a moment ago. And this will take you into the second main page of the website. So when you click on the browse, it brings you to what I call our search results page. This is presently displaying artists in all disciplines. And as you can see, there's a number here. We currently have 600 active portfolios. Now, that said, there are actually more than 600 artists currently active on the site. One of the things I will show you how to do is how to set up your portfolio to not be public. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But we have another about 40 to 50 artists who currently have their portfolio set to private, so you're not able to view them just yet. Now, for many years, this listing here on this page was alphabetical in nature, which meant if your last name ended with an A, you were always at the top of this list. And if your last name ended with Z, you were always at the end. But I would say it was the people who landed right in the middle who never appeared in a way that was easy to find if you weren't searching for them directly. So we recently changed the way that these portfolios are displayed. If you want to change it yourself and view it by last name A to Z or last name Z to A, you can do so by clicking on this sort button. But now the way it displays that artists who have most recently updated their portfolio are now listed first on this page. So I would say that all of the artists that you see here on this page, there are 16 per page, have updated their portfolio in the last 24 hours. Linda De Palma, our artist who's first here in this box, is probably updating her portfolio right at this very moment. So what we hope this does is that it inspires you to keep updating your portfolio, not just during the season when we're promoting the portfolios, but also throughout the entire year, because just going in and making a small change or a big change will bring you back to this homepage when people click the browse button. So that's just a nice little feature there. You can also choose to filter portfolios. These are currently set up as location-based filters, but over the next several weeks, you'll start seeing that we are adding in other types of affiliations as well. And artists can self-select as many different locations or affiliations as they choose. So some of the things you might see coming up as sort of proof of concepts here is a partnership with the Peel Center, and their storytelling members will have their own selection. We've started ideas of collaborating with some of the local colleges and universities, so alumni can identify themselves as being associated with that institution, and several other membership-based organizations here in the city and in the region will also be listed as affiliations. Also, since this is a new idea that we're just beginning to explore, if you are part of a group of artists who might have a desire to sort of have your own corner of the Baker website and be recognized and designated as an affiliation, you can contact us at that baker@baltimoreculture.org email address, and we'd be happy to talk to you about how to get that set up and what that means for you. I think that is it on these pages. You can paginate down at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, or next, and move through the portfolios themselves. And at the very top, you can sort by specific disciplines. I'm going to click on a portfolio. I'm going to click on the very first portfolio here, which is Linda De Palma, who I've already called out in today's presentation. The structure of portfolios are identical per artist. This one's still loading here, but the format is consistent across all portfolios. But obviously, as you explore the portfolios, you will see that the work is very, very different. So at the very top of your portfolio is your name. Take note of this because we're going to talk about how to customize that in just a moment. Underneath your name is your 4 work samples. And so I'm just going to scroll through this artist. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it loops back to the beginning. You can include work samples of all different media, and we'll talk about some of the requirements for those in just a moment. But what's key here is that these 4 work samples appear at the very top of your portfolio. What's also key is that when it comes to the adjudication process, the jurors are required to review your 4 work samples. And the hope is that those work samples inspire them to move down and examine the rest of your portfolio. Now, unlike a traditional grant application where work samples are what is used for adjudication, here the work samples are only used as the first stage of adjudication. So jurors will review your work samples, and they won't use your work samples to select you as a finalist or as an awardee, but they will use it to eliminate the artists that they are not interested in. So for us and the adjudicators, the work samples are a tool to eliminate artists, not to select artists. And I'm happy to provide more information on that if anybody has any questions. But it's also not my advice to just think about the jurors and also think about the general public. So imagine somebody who's curious about art being made in the Baltimore region, who stumbles upon the Baker Artist Portfolio website and is suddenly presented with 800 artists whom they can explore. So they're now randomly clicking and getting to know the art that this region offers. So think about them as well, because your work samples might be the determining factor as to whether they scroll down on your portfolio or whether they continue to click through and look at other artists. So I generally recommend when thinking about your work samples is really put up your absolute best work that you have with the goal of capturing people's imaginations, both the jurors as well as the general public. Because if you capture their imagination, they will scroll down and spend more time with you and your work. To the right of the work sample section is a little about block, which includes a profile picture of you. Most artists put an image of themselves here, but that you can put whatever image you want. It also includes a brief biography with a more button if your biography extends beyond 1 paragraph. Below that is a link to download a resume. Resumes are not required on the Baker site, though you are welcome to include one. The jurors will not view the resume, so it's not used for adjudication. But if you are using this website as a primary website, or you feel like your resume helps members of the general public or curators or collectors or collaborators understand your history and where you're coming from in the art world, you can include your resume. Beneath that is the main body of your portfolio, which is the projects. And you can add up to 10 different projects, and you can add up to 10 pieces of media per project, which means within the project section of your website, you can have up to 100 pieces of media and add that to your 4 work samples as 104 pieces of original content that can be hosted on the Baker site. There's not a requirement as to how many projects or how many pieces of media per project you include. So this artist in her first project has 5 pieces of media. The only requirement that we have is that you have at least 1 work sample uploaded, that you've created at least 1 project, and in that at least 1 project, you have at least 1 piece of media. So as long as you have at least 1 work sample, 1 project, and 1 piece of media in that project, your portfolio will be active. If you're just starting and you haven't added a project yet, then your portfolio will not show up in the search results page or on the browse page or on the home page. So you do have to create that first project and add at least 1 piece of media to that project to have an active portfolio. I'm just going to keep scrolling down. Here's the artist's second project. Again, 5 images. This project has 10 images. Keep going down. This project's, so there's a varying level of images and some video as well in this artist's portfolio. And it keeps scrolling down here to the end. Underneath the individual works, you'll see that there's this button that says add to your collection. That will only display if you are a logged in artist on the website or if you have registered on the site as a curator. As an artist, which I believe everyone here is either has a portfolio as an artist or is considering creating an artist portfolio. As an artist, you have the ability to create this collection, and you also have the ability to comment on other artists' work. To sign up on the website as a curator is intended for people who are not identified as artists, who also want to be able to build a curated collection as well as comment on artists' artwork. So this feature here of add to your collection will only appear if you have a account set up with the Baker website, and same with this comment block here. Underneath that comment box, you have this connect with box, which will display any social media links that the artist has uploaded. There's also an option, both when you're setting up your account as well as when you're editing your account, to choose whether the website displays your email address or not. It is our policy to never share personal or contact information. So you have to set that up yourself if you want people to be able to see your email address and contact you that way. Here in this artist curated collection, which appears at the bottom of every portfolio, is work that Linda has selected of other artists that she likes. And we build this into the Baker portfolios sort of as a more organic Amazon feature. If you like this, then you might like this. And I find it to be a really interesting way when you find an artist on the Baker site whose work you really enjoy to then be introduced to other artists by following the work that they themselves enjoy. Okay, so that is the front end of the website. You will notice here in the upper right-hand corner, it now says test. I'm going to open a new window here, which I'm probably going to need to unshare with you. Actually, I won't do that right now. But if you were not logged in the upper right-hand corner, it would say log in. I am logged in here with a fake account that we use here for our info sessions. The name on that account says test user, which is why in the upper right it says test. If you were logged in as an artist on the site, in the upper right, you would recognize your first name. And when you click on your first name, you get a drop-down menu with various options. So I'm going to talk about those options and tell you how to navigate the site. So your first option is My Portfolio. And when you click My Portfolio, it takes you to your individual artist's current portfolio. As I mentioned, this is the account that we use to teach and the account that we'll be using today for this info session. So there's a bunch of random stuff in here. This isn't mine or any artist's actual portfolio, just showing people how to use the site. And so you can get there through clicking on My Portfolio in underneath your name. The second option is Edit Portfolio, and this is where you will spend the most amount of time over the next 5 weeks or so, and also where we will spend the most amount of time during today's workshop. I'm going to skip this for now so I can show you the other places, and then we can come back to the Edit Portfolio and spend the remainder of our time here today. The next button is Edit Account Information, which I'm going to click on. And if you think about Edit My Portfolio as the place where you go to edit your artwork, so your portfolio is everything related to your art, this button here, Edit Account Information, is everything related to your account on the website. Everything in here is information that we collect from both people who have registered as artists as well as people we have registered as curators. So let me show you what you can do in here. The first thing you can do is update your password. I know I've already talked to one of you who are on this call today that has let us know that we are currently experiencing a glitch on this edit password page. So I'm going to tell you what that is in case you encounter it, so you know a workaround and also know that that should be all fixed up by early next week. So in order to update your password, you have to know your current password. One of the challenges we're facing right now is that if you request a new password from the login page, it sends you a link to log in, but you can't reset your password without knowing your current password. So if you're experiencing a password issue, please email us at baker@baltimoreculture.org, and we are happy to assist you with that over the next few days while we get this issue resolved. Here's where you can update your email address as well. Your picture is your profile picture, so your picture of you as an artist. Your first name and last name, usually those things don't change, but if you need to update those, you can do so here, as well as your birth date. And lastly, this is where you update your social media links. So if you have a Facebook account, an Instagram account, a Twitter account, you can choose. We also have Etsy and YouTube on here. You can choose your social media account and then put the URL to your Etsy page, for example, sample page. And that will now appear on your portfolio in that Contact Us box. If you have more than one social media account you want to display, you click Add Another. Oops, I think we're going to put the full URL here. you click add another item, and it will allow you to add as many as you want of those 5 categories. The last thing I want to show you here is you will have already selected terms of service and accepted our privacy policy when you created your account. So typically you don't need to do anything there, but if you want to review those, you can. But this is where the show my email lives. And so if you do want to have your email address displayed on your portfolio, this box will by default be unchecked. And if you do want to display your email, you can click that show my email box, and that will then display on your portfolio. You'll notice that here at the bottom, it says save and cancel account. That save button will always be at the bottom of the page, even as you scroll, and that save button is your friend. And I'm going to hit save here so that my work gets updated. And if I scroll all the way to the bottom of this portfolio, you will see that that Etsy link that I just set up now appears here, and we'll link you to that Etsy page. I put in a fake address, so I won't click it now. So that is what lives in the edit account information. Underneath that account information is edit artist profile. And when I click that, you'll also see that you can toggle between the account information, which is where we just were, and the artist profile, which is where we are now at the very top of that page. And inside artist profiles, information that we only collect from the artists. So that includes more specific information about their locality. This is where you can select your location and where you will soon be able to select those other affiliations that I was telling you about. You set the primary discipline of your portfolio here. So Alix did talk a little bit about selecting your primary discipline. If you would decide to change that, some artists who work in different media, some you're there in visual arts, some you're there in interdisciplinary. We leave that to you to identify that way. Your site-wide representation lives here, and this is important, so I'm going to talk about that. If you remember on the home page, those square blocks that appeared highlighting the random artist rotation, as well as when I clicked the browse button or the search button, this is where you can set the image that will represent you across the site, which is why it's called site-wide representation. By default, the website will display the first image in your first project as your site-wide representation. And for some artists, that works great. But other artists said, I want the first image in my first project to be what it is, but I don't want that to be the image that represents me across the website. So we gave you the opportunity to override that default, and that's here in the site-wide representation. If you don't have one set, when you come here, that field will be blank, and you can click choose file, and it will pull up a media browser on your computer and allow you to set your image. And we're going to talk a lot about uploading images in a second. Underneath that is your biography. There's no limit as to the length of biography you can include. I generally recommend toggling between the edit page and the website and seeing how much, what chunk of your content displays without clicking that read more button. Just keeping in mind that for members of the general public who are just exploring, they may not click read more on every portfolio. So just including what you think is the most important biographical information at the start of your bio. Here's where you can add your resume. Again, if you don't have a resume uploaded, it'll be a blank here, and you can hit choose file. This is not a requirement. If you are uploading a resume, it has to be a PDF. And it's always my recommendation, if you are uploading your resume, a lot of people use their standard resume or CV, which often includes personal information about them, such as their home address or their cell phone number. If you don't want that information to be floating around on the web, then I just recommend you make a few quick modifications to your resume before uploading it. Underneath here, you can include your personal website. So you can put the URL, which is up here when you're looking at a website, and then you can choose the title of that, which is what link text means. And here I just have Baker Artist Portfolios as the link text. Yours might say my website, or it might say my online shop, or David London's website, whatever it is, however you want that link to be titled. And underneath here is that button that I mentioned when we were looking at the portfolio. It says keep my artwork private so that others cannot view it. This is intended for those who are working on their portfolio and don't want it to be visible to the public while they're doing the work. Or there are some artists, although we love to have people fully involved in our portfolio site, there are some artists who are not interested in being part of a public portfolio, and they're only interested in being eligible for an award. And so they never unclick this button. Keeping your artwork private does not impact whether or not the jurors see your portfolio. It only impacts whether the general public sees your portfolio. So even if you click this button, that duplicate copy that Alix was talking about of your portfolio will still be made, and the jurors will still review it. So this does not impact that. Again, this save button floats here at the bottom, and make sure you hit that to save any works that you did. I'm going to click here on My Curated Collection, which allows you to view your curated collection, and also allows you to click this button over here that says Manage My Collection, where you can remove things from your collection if you've added something but you no longer want it displayed. So as soon as you click it, it will update that automatically. There is no save button on this page, and you'll know that it's removed something for your collection because it will be grayed out here and say Add to your collection. I'm happy to provide more information on that if anybody has any questions. We provided a link in the menu to the help page, which just takes you down to that drop-down menu, just to make it easy to access if people had any questions. And then the log out button. All right, we're going to jump back to that edit portfolio page, which is where we'll be spending the rest of our time here together today, and where you, as I've mentioned, will be spending the most of your time as you edit your portfolio over the next several weeks here. So the very top of your portfolio, which, by the way, this edit portfolio page functions in the exact same order as your live portfolio. So just like at the very top of your portfolio, it says the name. Here at the very top, it says title, and you can edit the name of your portfolio. By default, it will say your first name and then your last name, comma, S, portfolio, David London's portfolio, or here, test user's portfolio. Some artists have a public name that's different from their legal name, so they might have their stage name on here, for example, or some artists who are working in a collective may choose to put the collective name on here, or some artists just get really creative about how they want their portfolio to be labeled. They describe themselves. One year, somebody put in here, I don't remember the artist's name, I apologize for that, but they had their name and it said Spelunker of the Unconscious Mind or something like that. So we leave this to you to utilize however you best see fit. And underneath there is a new feature that says preferred URL. And the preferred URL allows you to customize the link that will be associated with your portfolio. So when you go to view your portfolio, it'll say bakerarts.org/portfolio/ some text, and you can set that text here. So I currently have this one set to London. You can set it to your first name and last name, your first initial last name. It just gives you a little bit more customization. I think, as Alix mentioned, there are several artists who utilize the portfolio as their main website. And so they came to us and said, because I publicize the URL of my portfolio on my business card and my promotional materials, it would be nice if I had a little bit control over what name appeared. So we've built in this preferred URL feature. Underneath here, just like on the portfolio, the next thing that you see is the work samples. So underneath here are the 4 work samples uploaded here. I'm going to remove some, so I have some spots to add new. If you're just starting to work on your portfolio, there will be nothing here, and it will tell you that there are 4 spots left. In my case, I have 2 things uploaded, so it's telling me that there are 2 spots left. As long as you have spots left, meaning as long as you haven't uploaded all 4 pieces of media, you have this button here that says Select Media. Now, the process I'm about to show you is the exact identical process you will go through up to 104 times to pull things that are on your computer into your portfolio. So we'll do about 5 or 6 today, so you'll get a pretty good sense of how it works. And I do promise you, the more you do it, the easier it will become. So here I'm going to click Select Media, and it pulls up this box here, which allows me to enter the name of the media. Click this Choose File button to pull it from the computer. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click Choose File. I don't believe that the program we're using pulls up my media browser. The media browser would look different on whether you had a PC or a desktop, but it pulls up sort of where all of your files live. I always recommend to artists that it's good practice to organize your work as you're going through this process. So maybe create a new folder on your computer that says Baker Portfolio, and you can create subfolders and start organizing your work in that way. Again, when you click on that choose file button, it will pull the media browser up from your computer, at which case you can navigate to the work that you want to include on your portfolio. I'm just choosing an image here. I've selected it on my media browser. It thinks for a moment and then pulls in a preview of the image. Once you see the preview of the image, you know that you're ready to proceed. So I'm going to name this info session. The alternative text field is a new requirement that we've instituted. We'll be hosting a dedicated information session on alternative text, and we're also happy to provide you further information about how to use this properly. This is an accessibility tool, and it's best to be thought of as a visual description of the work that you're uploading itself. This takes an enormous amount of energy, and we acknowledge that. However, we have made it a requirement. But our suggestion right now, with just over a month to go for the portfolios, is that for now, you copy the name of your work into the alternative text field, and that you return to the alternative text to make sure that your work is accessible as possible to people with low or no vision. An example of alternative text in the picture that I've uploaded might be a room filled with 14 people sitting around a conference table with one gentleman standing before them speaking to the room. And that would be a description of what the image or the media that you have uploaded is. Again, we're happy to talk about this more, but for now, you can just copy the name of your work into this alternative text field. If you've had a portfolio previously, since this is a new requirement for us, when you go to your edit portfolio, you will see that the title of your piece has already been copied into the alternative text field. Again, this is only a temporary placeholder, and we hope that over the next year, we can help guide artists on a path of having their work on the Baker site, but also across the web and all of their platforms be more accessible to a wider audience. So pending here. There's also a description field, and this description field is what will display publicly. So unlike the alternative text, which will only display to people using a screen reader, the description field is the text that will display underneath your portfolio. In general, I recommend that you at least include what we would call label information. So in the case of a visual artist, that would be media. Photograph or acrylic paint on canvas, or pen and ink drawing, or kiln fired clay, whatever your media is. In this case, I'm just going to put ink on paper, even though that does not really apply to this photograph. And then put the dimensions of your piece, 24 inches by 36 inches. And then I generally recommend at least including the year that it was produced, 2023. There are some artists who in this description field write paragraphs about where they were in their life when they created the piece, why they created the piece, what the piece means to them. And we've left this entirely up to you as to how you want to talk about your work. You'll notice that there is no little red star here, so a description isn't even required, and some artists don't include any information. Again, it's my recommendation that you at least include the media, the size, and the year, because I think that's helpful when people look at your portfolio to understand the work itself. Then you hit save image, and once you hit save image, that new piece of media, this picture I just uploaded, will appear here in your work sample section. I'm going to do that one more time. Select media, choose file. My media browser comes up. I get this image here, new book, alternative text. For now, I'm just going to type new book. And when I scroll down, the description is oil on canvas, 12 inches by 18 inches, and the year is 2020. Again, just making all this up as examples for today. I enter that and I hit save image, and that image now appears in my work sample. But let's say that I want my work sample to be in a different order once I have these 4 uploaded. And you'll notice when I hover over them, then my mouse turns into a crosshair. And all I have to do is click once, and I can drag the content to a different position. So now I have this photograph, this video, this photograph, and a different video, and that's the order. And when I hit save here, it will take me out of that edit page, bring me to my portfolio, and now you can see here's that photograph, here's the video, here's the second photograph, and here's the second video. So the work that I do on that edit portfolio page is immediately reflected in the body of the portfolio itself. We're going to talk about in a second how to upload videos and how to upload other types of content, but I did want to go over the work sample section first. So as I mentioned already, in this work sample section, you can have up to 4 pieces of media. That could be 4 images, could be up to 4 video clips, 4 audio files, or 4 PDF documents. Now, if you are uploading anything other than image files in your work sample section, there are some time or length specifications. So your videos or audio files can be up to 10 minutes of content total across the 4. So you could have 1 video file that was 10 minutes long. You could have 3 video files that were 3 minutes and 33 seconds long, or 4 video files that were 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, or any combination thereof, but not to exceed 10 minutes total. The same is true with audio files. You could have 1 10-minute audio file, 2 5-minute files, 4 2-minute audio files. Or if you're uploading a PDF, you can have up to 15 pages total. And so that, again, can be broken up and with 1 15-page document, 4 3-page documents, however you want to balance that. If you are displaying different types of media in your work sample, so if you have 1 picture, 1 video file, 1 audio file, and 1 PDF, for example, and you're not sure how those balance out properly, that you're not sure how many pages you can have along with the video file, we are happy to answer any questions you might have on that. Again, baker@baltimoreculture.org. If you have questions related to your specific work sample section. I will say that it is on us, the staff of GBCA, to make sure that work samples aren't exceeding the limits. So we do a check on those, and if we see them during the season, we'll let you know that you've exceeded your limit. If you have exceeded your time limit, but we don't discover that until after the close of the season, the jurors are only required to review the first 10 minutes or first 15 pages. So if you don't read our instructions anywhere and you end up putting an hour worth of video content on here, jurors will only review the first 10 minutes or are only required to review the first 10 minutes. I'm going to pause here because I know I've been talking rather fast and going over lots of things. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to type those into the chat now, and I'll bring Alix back on for just a second in case anybody has any questions. And I'm actually going to, Alix, take myself out for 1 second and turn on a light here, get some more light on my face, which I know is popping in and out here. And if anybody has any questions, please type them into the chat. Okay, doesn't look like we have any questions. It looks like I've got plenty of light on me now, so maybe too much light. We'll deal with that here, and we will continue. Again, feel free at any point to type any questions you have into the chat. So underneath your work sample section is the body of your portfolio, and here you can have up to 10 projects. You'll notice that there is no button here that says add project, and inevitably at various times throughout the season, artists will reach out and say, I can't add a project, please help me. There's a counter at the very bottom of your projects. I'm highlighting it here, and here it says you've added 10 out of 10 allowed projects. So the most common reason artists cannot add projects is because they've already added 10. So in order to talk to you today and add a project and show you how to do that, I'm going to remove a project that I already have. You'll notice that when I click this remove button here, a second remove button appears and it jumps from the right hand of the screen to the left hand of the screen. This two-step process is designed to make sure that you don't accidentally delete a project if you don't want to. So you hit remove, I'm going to hit cancel, but you hit remove, and then it says, are you sure you want to remove it? And that's to make sure that you really do want to remove your project. So I just hit new, or I just hit remove again. And you'll see now that it says you've added 9 out of 10 allowed projects, and it gives me the option to add a new project. So that's what I'm going to click, add new project. Today, I'm going to put the project as 1216 info session. Project description. This is a project description. Again, you will want to describe your project here. Here, Alix mentioned that you have to choose a primary discipline for your project, but that you can choose a discipline for each you can choose you have to set a primary discipline for your portfolio, but that you can identify disciplines for each of your projects. And so here you can set the discipline for this specific project. I'm going to do performing arts for this one. And underneath that is tags. And you'll remember that when we were looking at the homepage on that search bar, I told you that you could search by tags. And here's where you would set that tag. Tags are important because let's say that somebody was coming to the portfolio website and they were looking for paintings of dogs. And so they search in that search bar for dog paintings. Here in this tag section is your opportunity as an artist to let people know that your work is paintings of dogs. So I'm going to do a tag here of dog painting. Let's see what comes up. Dog paintings. Dog paintings. Here we go, dog paintings, and it comes up as a existing tab, and you can separate those by commas. So we could do oil paint, oil painting, and color. I'm making these up here, and also abstract. These obviously don't apply to my work or necessarily anybody's specific work, but just giving you examples here. There are many tags already populated. If your tag is not populated and you type something in that it's never heard of, it gives you the option to add your own tags. So if you just enter your own tag, even if it doesn't recognize that, that'll become a tag in the system. Underneath that is your select media tab, which is where you will add the media to your portfolio. This is the exact same tab that we saw when we were adding media to the work samples. I mentioned you will go through this process 100 times to fill your portfolio. So I'm just going to go here and add this stereo view. Alternative text, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to describe this as 3 inches by 7 inches, 2015, and photographic print. And I hit save image, and now that image appears as a thumbnail here on the left. Now at this point we've uploaded 3 different images, but I want to show you the other options here as well. One is an add audio option. You have 2 options. If you have a audio file, then you can choose a audio directly. Oops, didn't like that one. You can choose an audio file directly from your computer. I'm not sure I have an audio file ready to go on my computer, but you can upload it in the same way that you upload the image itself. Your other option is to use this button that says add remote link. And that would be if you had audio uploaded on a SoundCloud account or a similar audio hosting platform. You could just copy the URL to where that audio clip lives and upload it in this audio link section. Just like on your images uploaded, you have this description field. And so this is where you would talk about the media itself. Again, at least including length, so duration of the piece of audio, and the year, and anything else you want to describe it. This add document button is where you can add a Word document or a PDF. So again, you click the choose file button, and I'm going to find a PDF on my computer. I've chosen the Baker instructions, and you'll see that it appears here, Baker instructions. And description is Baker instruction. I think I spelled that wrong. Baker instruction manual. And click save document. What's cool is the website thinks for a second, and then it actually creates a PDF preview of the first page of your PDF document. That first page of your PDF is also what will display on your portfolio itself. So if you might want to add a title page to your PDF, or even a graphic title page, or if it's an excerpt from a book, you could put the cover of the book on the first page of your PDF, and then that would display on your portfolio. I'm going to click select media again, and this time I'm going to choose add remote video. Now, we do host image files on the website, and we do host audio files on the website, and we host PDFs and Word documents on the website, but we do not, unfortunately, host video files, and that is because video files are so large that they very quickly eat up all of our storage space, which is a very expensive and ongoing endeavor to keep up. So to include a video on your portfolio, you have to have it hosted somewhere else. Most commonly, they are hosted on YouTube or Vimeo. I'm going to just open up a new tab here on my web browser and find a YouTube clip that we can use here. I'm going to do YouTube and then Baker Artist Awards. And this will hopefully pull up a, here we go, a YouTube clip of the 2021 Baker Artist Award video. Now, if you happen to have your own website, you may know that you have to go through a sometimes lengthy process to upload a video using an embed code. It's a string of HTML code to get the video to appear on your website. On the Baker site, you don't need to do that. You're just going to copy here the URL of your video. So it appears at the very top. You can also get to that URL on your video by clicking this share button, and you can copy the URL that exists here by clicking this copy button. You may notice that this link here is different from this link here. Both of the links, whether you get it from here or here, will work. I generally copy it right from the URL of my web browser. So in this case, I've copied the URL. I go back to the add remote video, and here in the URL link, I paste that link that I just copied from the web. I put Baker Artist Awards 2021 and MPT special 30 minutes 2021. Okay, and then I hit save remote, and it'll think for a second, and now it'll automatically copy the thumbnail from YouTube or Vimeo and embed it here on my portfolio. If you are able to, I generally recommend, this is not an endorsement, but I think that Vimeo is a video hosting platform that gives you more flexibility when embedding your video. Unlike YouTube, it is a paid program, so YouTube works just fine if you don't have a paid Vimeo account. But what's nice about Vimeo is that typically at the end of a YouTube video playing either on YouTube or embedded on a website, YouTube pulls up related videos that it uses an algorithm to suggest. And so Vimeo is nice because you can sort of customize what happens at the end of your video. So you could say at the end of my video, play it again, or just stop it, or reset it to the beginning, or recommend some of my other videos. So you have a lot more customization on a Vimeo platform, but again, YouTube works just fine. So again, select media, in that case, add remote video, and paste the URL here. The last tab I want to show you is this section called Choose Existing Media. And Choose Existing Media is like your media library on the Baker site. So it's where you can find all of the media that you've previously uploaded. So what's nice about this is that if you've uploaded a piece of work into your work sample, but you also want to include it in the body of your portfolio, you can find that here in the Choose Existing Media button. And here I'm going to select this dog picture and hit select media, and it automatically adds the dog picture that I'd previously uploaded onto the portfolio here on my portfolio. I do want to show you one new feature that we recently added. I'm going to click select media. This applies for any type of content that you add. I'm going to choose this silhouette image for my computer. Silhouette, alternative text. I'm going to put silhouette for now. And if I scroll down, here's my description, 4 inches by 6 inches, 2023. If I scroll down further, I have to hit save image here. And now I'm going to hit edit on my saved image. And when I hit edit, Alex, if you want to make a note of that, that should be on the upload page. When I hit edit, if I scroll all the way down, this button appears that says available for purchase. And so this is a new feature we've offered here on the site. And when you click that, a text field pops up, and you can put whatever information you want in the text field. And that is for if you want to identify that specific works on the website are available for people to purchase from you. The reason why we have text fields is that we wanted to give you the option of how to handle this. So let's say you're a visual artist. You could list that this item was available for $250 and then email me at baker@baltimoreculture.org. So that's what I'm going to use in this example. You could also put contact my gallerist at this phone number. You could say, text me, call me for pricing information, prints available for $50, original available for $1,000, whatever information you want to list here, you can control it. You can choose to bold or italicize things. You can add links if you want people to, let's say you could say available for $200 on my Etsy page. You could link to your Etsy page. So you have a lot of ways that you can control how you are telling people that it's available for purchase and the information that they see when they select. And I'm going to show you how this appears on your portfolio. So again, just acknowledge that I've clicked this available for purchase button on this silhouette image. So I've just added a bunch of pictures, a video, a PDF file, and now I'm going to hit save. You will always know that you've hit save because when you've hit save, it takes you to look at your portfolio. So if you're ever looking at that edit portfolio page, that means you haven't hit save yet. Don't shut down your computer. Don't close your web browser. That project I just uploaded is at the very bottom of my portfolio. And so the very last project here, here's the dog picture I uploaded. Here's the video that I uploaded, the PDF. Again, it displays the first page of that PDF. And if I click it, it will open the PDF on my computer so that I can view the entire document. And let me scroll back down. Sorry, just jumping around here. And here is that stereoscopic image that I uploaded with a typo here. Going back to that silhouette picture, you'll see that underneath it here, it now says available for purchase. And that's a reference to that feature that we just set up. And when I click that, it pulls up the information I just entered. So $250, email me at baltimoreculture.org. This is a brand new feature, so we're still playing with this. So if you have thoughts, comments, or suggestions about this feature or any feature on the website, please let us know. It is my hope that once enough artists start designating their work as available for purchase, that we can have a button on the Baker site that allows you to easily view works that are available for purchase. Now, this may make a lot of sense for visual artists, but let's consider our other artists as well. If you are a musician, you could say that your CD is available for purchase here, or that your music is available for download at this particular site, or even that you're available for hire. If somebody is interested in hiring you to be a musician at an event or a concert, feel free to use this feature however best suits you. If you are a filmmaker, you could say, if you're film is available for download for a fee, you could link to that. If you're say that your film is available to lease for a screening, you could provide that information. So play around with this feature. Let us know your thoughts on that, and we'll continue to tweak it. I want to go back into my edit portfolio and just show you how to rearrange things. So here's the project I was working on. That was the very last project in my portfolio. But let's say I want to move it to the very top of my portfolio. You'll notice over here on the left, these crosshairs, the same ones we use to organize our work samples appear. And if I click it, I can just drag my 1216 info session further and further up. Sometimes you got to scroll up 1216. And now that info session is here at the top. And when I hit save again, now that work that I just did appears at the very top of my portfolio, 1216 info session. So here's the silhouette with the available for purchase. Here's the dog picture, the video, the PDF, and the stereo view. The last thing I want to show you is actually two more things. Is if I click edit in that project again, I can rearrange the order that the work appears in my project, again, by hovering over, the crosshairs appear and I can change the order. So now it's dog picture, video, PDF, and then silhouette. And I'm going to hit save here. And we can see in the first project, dog picture, video, PDF, and silhouette. Let's figure out, not sure why nothing's showing up here, but we'll get that resolved as well. So the very last thing I want to show you is if you look at the background of my portfolio, you'll see this beautiful floral background. However, when you go to some artists' portfolios, I'm just going to click on a random one here. Let's try this one. I don't know that this will be a good example, but we'll try. Nope. So this artist has obviously shown a background of her work that was at the Baltimore Museum of Art as her background image here. I would have to click through several to find one that has a blue background, but I promise you there are many portfolios on the Baker site that have our default blue background. If you like that blue background, you don't have to do anything, but we've given you the option in your edit portfolio page to customize your background image. So at the very bottom of your edit portfolio page, it says background image media. And right now you see that I have that floral background in. I'm going to remove that floral background, and then I'm going to click select media. It again pulls up that image browser, and I'm going to find something. I'm going to choose existing media. And in this case, I'm going to use this image of a crowd picture at the BMA. And I click select media. It loads that in here. And then when I hit save, you'll see that the background of my portfolio changes to that crowd picture. Now, one thing I do want to note is that when I zoom out, the body of my website gets smaller, but that background image does not get smaller. And I say that because some artists try to get really clever. And I had one artist one year who tried to use that background image and have their eyes, a picture of their face as the background image, and their eyes were displaying here and here, which they worked really hard to achieve. But then I showed them that it looked different on my computer than on their computer. People have all different settings on their monitors, so they have it zoomed in or out depending on their vision. Some artists or some people also have different definitions of screen, so a higher definition screen might display in a different way. And I point that out to you so that you consider when selecting your background image that you're not trying to use it to relay information, but rather that you're using it to create a certain mood. So that one artist that we looked at a moment ago brings you into their world by using this image that represents their work as their background, but where you see and what you see doesn't really matter. It's just using it to set the mood. This artist, Vincent Thomas, he wanted a really high contrast color as his background image, so he chose this orange image, which he felt like contrasted the work on his site in a really beautiful way. So I suggest that you use that background image to relay a mood or a feeling, but not to relay specific information. Okay, that is our very rapid fire rundown of how to use the Baker site. At least I'm going to add you back in here. We will open it up to any questions that you may have. I am going to put this slide back up as we wait for questions, and just remind you that if you do need to get a hold of us, the best way to do so is at baker@baltimoreculture.org. We are available 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. And again, we are not available December 23rd through January 2nd. Also, if you want to get our full instruction manual, we will email it to everyone who RSVP'd today, but you can also download that manual at bakerartist.org/manual. I see we do have a comment here in the chat of Renee says, thank you. Thank you, Renee, for being here. Robin has asked, where are the instructional videos on our website? Those live on our, let me put this back up. Those can be found in our blog section here. It looks like our video has become unavailable, so I'll get that back up right after our meeting here today. But also, when we send a follow-up email to everyone, we will include links to both a recording of a info session, perhaps even this recording of an info session, but we will also send Alix did a great 7-minute video that was an overview of some of our new features, so we'll send that along as well. All right, I don't see any questions coming in. Hopefully, if you do have questions, you will reach out to us at baker@baltimoreculture.org, and also look for an email from us announcing our working sessions in January. And as Alix mentioned, that's a great time to sign up for 30 minutes of one-on-one time with either Alix or myself, which is a great opportunity to have questions answered. You might say, oh, I forgot how you told us how to do this. Can you remind me? We're happy to do that. Or you might say, I think I'm finished. Can you give us your opinion? It is only our opinion, but we're always happy to share thoughts or suggestions along the way.
I think we might have one question.
Okay.
Is there a step after the first 4 works?
Yep. Is there a step after the first four works? Yeah. So the first four works again is where your work samples live. So you do have to include those four work samples at the very top. But the majority of your work actually takes place after that initial step of adding the four work samples, and that is creating your projects and then adding media to the projects. So again, if you are starting for the first time, or if you already have a few projects added, I'm going to remove something. You'll have this button here that says add new project. You'll need to click that, add the title of your project, the description of your project, add your discipline and your tags, and then add your media to that project. I did want to emphasize, which I didn't talk about, how we think about projects. This is actually pretty important in that you don't have to be literal about projects. It doesn't have to be a specific series of work that was created from this date to this date. Your projects can be thought of more abstractly as bucket areas with which to organize your work. So, for example, if you're a visual artist, you could have a project that was oil painting and charcoal drawing and watercolor, or you could organize your project by subject matter. So you could have portraits, landscapes, and dog paintings, or you could organize it by year if you wanted to, or early works, or contemporary works, or abstract and figurative. Think really creatively about those bucket areas. And in fact, at the end of each season, artists tell me that figuring out those projects and those bucket areas with which to organize their work is usually, for most people, a fun and interesting exercise to engage in. So hopefully you will enjoy that as well. Is there any main photo with detailed pics next to it? So the within your portfolio, I think I can answer this question. Within your portfolio, Robin, the first image you upload will be the featured image within each project. So that would, I guess, be considered the main photo. We haven't really talked about detailed pics at all. So I think maybe you mean the thumbnails for that. And so each project can have up to 10 pieces of media. Those could be detailed pictures, or they could be distinct images, and your thumbnails appear to the right. And again, the first image appears as the first piece of media within each project. And we talked about how to rearrange that if you want a different image to show up as the first image as people scroll down on each project. I hope that answers your question. Cool. Well, on that note, we are right at time. It is 3:29. We promised that we'd be done by 3:30. So we've done our job here today. We want to, again, thank you all so much for joining us. And hopefully you will be in touch. Robin, there are up to 10 projects and up to 10 pieces of media per project. So you can have up to 100 pieces of work. Again, if you have want to get immediate help, you can also download our manual, which goes over all of these things. And most importantly, we thank you for joining us. I hope you have fun and a great time creating your portfolio. And I hope you all have a wonderful holiday if we don't talk to you beforehand, and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you all so much.